as well. Happy Hogmanay. You're listening to Mornings with me, Connie McLaughlin. I'm with you until midday today. Hopefully you are somewhere nice and cosy, somewhere nice and warm. You just sit back, relax and listen for the next couple of hours, because we've got some great stuff on offer for you, including if backstabbing and deception's your thing.
22 players, all chasing a prize of up to £120,000. But hidden amongst them, 3 traitors who want to steal it all. Can the others find them before it's too late?
A brand new series of The Traitors kicks off tomorrow night. I'm going to be hearing from some former Scottish contestants very soon about what to expect and what it was like to be on the show, and maybe what we might see in the next series, who knows. And
I love my dog.
Saying this, wow, 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 yippee yo, yippee yay. Where my dogs at? Walk with me now, wow, wow, wow.
a little bit later, that is, to get inside your pet's brain. Clinical animal behaviourist and judge in Scotland's Best Dog, River McDonald, is here to answer any questions you might have, any worries, any concerns, or maybe your pet's just doing something that you think's maybe a little bit weird and you just want to understand what's happening. Whether it's a cat, guinea pig, dog, snake, you name it, get them into me, 80295 if you want to do that. Plus, why do the Beatles keep gaining new fans so many years later? And
'Cause you're a sky.
Said straight suicide.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane.
It's the funk doctor spot smoking on the train.
How high?
So high that I can kiss the sky. Yeah.
oh, I'm looking forward to this. In the depths of winter, what stars should we be looking out for in our night skies? There's lots of things up there we just have to look up. Well, we'd probably need to wait for the clouds to clear a little bit, but I'll give you all the info and the lowdown on exactly what's happening in the sky above us.
All the conversations that matter.
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Are you like me and you've got, like, you know, those apps you can get where you just sort of move the phone and then it shows you what's going on, what stars, what constellations and stuff? And I mean, I'm no astronomer, clearly, but it's just quite interesting to see what's going on when you're sort of going about your day-to-day life. So we're going to be speaking to someone very much in the know a little bit later as to what we should be looking out for at this time of year. And it is Hogmanay, right? But it's also Tuesday and it's just gone 10 a.m, which means it is time for a weekly Name the Place quiz here on BBC Radio Scotland. If you're a Name the Place fan, you know what you're doing. It is the last one of the year. But if you're maybe unfamiliar with the quiz and you're listening for the first time, welcome. This is how it works. Carol Huff, who is unbelievably brainy, right? She provides a list of unbelievably mind-boggling clues that should, and I say should, lead you to a place in Scotland. And when you think you've got the answer, you just send me a text on 80295. And when you hear this noise, it means some smarty pants somewhere has got it right. But we are running our own race, remember? So if you do hear that and you think, right, I still want to play along, you can do that. And Carol will give us all the answers just before 12 o'clock today. So this is our first clue. Are you ready to play along at home? Here we go. Clue number 1. The first clue to today's place name is the phrase Happy New Year.
There's no place you can really go but down, down, down. People on the street congratulate you. They say they love the way you sound. Well, when you're on low, no one wants to chit or chat or even know your name. Your age is never there. Your manager is up too often gone somewhere. Standing on the top. Standing on the top, a superstar, but do you have any money to live? Hey man, can you loan me a few bucks? When you're on the low, where do all the freaks and fans and people go? I don't know. People sit and stare, ask a crazy question, do you braid your hair? And what's so seldom square? Standing on the top. On the top, getting down. Standing on the top. On the top, getting down, 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 down. Standing on the top. Sing. Well, 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 well. Standing on the top. Standing on the top, getting down. Can you understand it? We understand it. Can you understand it? What I'm talking about when I say that funk is here to stay. We understand it. Can you understand it? What I'm talking about? Funk is here to stay. Oh, we understand it. If you understand it, say yeah. We want the funk. We want the funk and nothing else. We want the funk. We want the funk and nothing else will do. We want the funk. We want the funk and nothing else will do. We want the funk and nothing else will do. We want the funk. We want the funk and nothing else will do. We want the funk and nothing else will do.
Cunning and deceit, and with the stake of £120,000 up for grabs as well. It gained around 6 million views per week last time out for fans of Mind Games. This certainly is a must-see, and it's time for us to welcome 3 contestants from Scotland who've taken part in the show. Alyssa Chan, who's a former traitor. Morning, Alyssa.
Good morning. How are we?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for coming on. Brian Davidson's also with me, who is a former faithful. How you doing?
Hello, very good, thank you.
Nice to have you with me in the studio. Nice to see a friendly face. And also winner of Series 1 as a faithful, Meryl Williams. Meryl, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Hello. Hi.
Right. It's hard to know where to start with this, right? Because there's so much to get into, and we don't have bags of time, as always is the way on the radio. But Brian, tell me, are you excited about the prospect of a new series?
I definitely am, because I was in a fair amount of time. Well, not compared to the other 2 that we've got on, but I don't think I was traumatised that much compared to maybe Alyssa and Meryl, who went through the whole rigmarole of it all, backstabbing and everything. I got out just at the right time, that I don't need psychology therapy or anything like that.
I don't know, Meryl, is that fair? Is that how you felt coming out of it?
Yeah, I just had fun. I think I was so oblivious to the whole thing the whole time. I didn't really suck in the trauma aspect. But yeah, I just really enjoyed myself. But yeah, it was fun for me. I had a good experience.
What was the expectation of going into a program like Traitors, and the reality, like, Alyssa, compared to what? I mean, I don't know how you expect these things to go, but sort of the reality of it. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I went into it with no expectations. Like, because it was a pilot for us, we'd no idea what to expect. Like, I thought it was going to be like an adventure in the Highlands. And then when we got there, it was like, oh, okay, this is very different.
What, Meryl, for you, like, since, I guess, coming out of it and winning and being part of that first show as a faithful, how's it changed your life?
Oh, completely. Like 360. I mean, I managed to quit my 9 to 5 that I was working before the show. So that's a massive aspect to change my life. And yeah, it's just, we've been enjoying the wave. We always say that, like, we didn't expect the show to be as big as it is. We're so grateful it is. And it's just amazing to see how many people are so involved with it. So yeah, just enjoy the wave and just see where it takes us. But it's completely changed my life, completely.
How did you approach it then in terms of keeping your cover? Because obviously you'll know and have a bit of an understanding of what the programme is. But, you know, as Alyssa was saying there, going into it for the first time and you've not really watched it on TV, or, you've not seen any other sort of show doing it before, did you have a game plan? Did you have something in your mind that you wanted to sort of try and achieve, or how you were going to be?
I had no idea.
No?
I had genuinely no idea. I just wanted to be myself, and I just wanted to have fun and just enjoy the experience and enjoy everything around it. And yeah, I just wanted to see how long, I didn't have any tactics. I didn't know what to do. I mean, I think it's quite obvious the whole way through. I had no idea what I was doing. But,
It worked though, didn't it?
yeah, it still did work. So, I mean, maybe the no idea is the game plan. But, I just think I just enjoyed it and just thought this is a once in a lifetime experience. I'm just going to soak it all up. And if anything that comes from it is a better, like a positive experience, and just to enjoy the ride. And yeah, I just had fun. Just enjoy it. So so many people would want to do it. So I just enjoyed it.
Did you go in with that sort of same mindset, Brian?
That's definitely the best way to go. And I went in with a bit of both. My game plan was to lay low, but also just to enjoy myself. So obviously at the table I was trying to lay low, and then I stopped trying to lay low, and everything crumbled immediately and very quickly, not over a course of days, minutes.
Right, so tell people who hadn't watched it what happened in that sort of big moment that changed things for you.
So yeah, I was trying to keep quiet and under the radar, and then in one of the missions I got called the biggest sheep, and it was the votes, and it might have even been 2 people that called me it, but it gets in your head. So I was like, I'll show you. I'm not quiet, because I'm not a quiet person. I was trying to play a little bit of a role. So at the table, I was like, I'm not just going to follow what everyone else is voting. I'm going to go for something else and use my brain, really. And I crumbled because I got called out, and I was like, I wasn't ready for this. I didn't know. It just happens all so quickly and in slow motion also. So, yeah, it just kind of crumbles right there. So I say if you're going in, you have to either go in with no game plan or stick to it. Be very strict to your game plan.
When you get a sense that they're onto you, right, or that there's a suspicion around you, how do you cope with that, Brian, in the moment of, you're having to think all the time on your feet?
Yeah, well, that's it. Because you're aware that it's not real life. You're aware that it's a game, but the panic sets in. It's crazy. I've even played the board game, and I was a traitor, and I got called a traitor by one of my family members, and I almost crumbled. It's a game, but like I say, it's not real life. You're not actually going to be banished or murdered, but you take it so serious at the table. It must be the way it's produced. It's just so perfectly done.
Alyssa, what was your experience of that moment where you're thinking, oh, the pressure's on?
Yeah, it was like every moment, to be honest. Like, it's highly immersive. That it's as a traitor anyways, it feels like a witch hunt. Probably for faithfuls as well. But it's genuinely terrifying. Like, I can't describe it or compare it to anything else I've ever done in my life. Like, it is just terrifying.
Did you just feel as if, were you trying to sort of untraitor your face? Because I feel as if you think you're lying about something, even if you know you're not, you've got that app almost panic. So you're almost trying to overthink it.
Exactly. I was wrecked half the time because everything I was saying, I had to if I was talking about the traitors, I had to think I'd have to say everything in my head before I'd say it. Because I, we, they, God, it was actually tough work. I was wrecked every night. So
talk us through the actual sort of process of it then. So how long are you actually in the castle and stuff for Meryl? What happens from you going in, and how long are you there, and what, so you're talking, Alyssa's saying that it's such an immersive experience, but explain the sort of process of it for us.
So we were living and breathing the whole experience, and I think we were there for I was there for 4 or 5 weeks, I think.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So it's quite a long time to be away from everything and anything you knew back home. You had no access to the outside world. You had no phone. You had nothing. You were living, breathing the traitors. So yeah, I think it definitely got you involved, and I think it was a really good aspect though, because there was no outside distractions. You were in the game completely. You didn't have back to reality. You were playing the game fully 24 hours a day. So yeah, it was a very immersive experience, definitely.
And then coming out of it, Brian, going back almost to sort of real life again, from being in such going to use that word again, that immersive experience, and being so part of something. What was that like, trying to almost readjust again to
It's
the
bad
real life?
Because for maybe the next week, maybe 2 weeks that I was out, and I was just living my life again. I was having some time off, but I'd get a phone call from Studio Lambert just to make sure I'm okay, because their welfare team is just spot on. They're so good at looking after you. But I'd start to forget about it, then the welfare team would call me oh my God, I'm going back in. They want me back in. They're having a big reveal. And it's in your head. I think about it every day still.
Do you?
Yeah, definitely. Of the sort of what could have happened, because it's just you're so immersed in it. I'm a well person, don't worry, I'm not.
That's my next question. You've answered it well.
But yeah, it's immersive in the sense that it's taken over my life. So definitely, Meryl says she's quit her job and she's got her own thing happening from this as well, and I'm getting to do all these type of things as well, and yeah, it takes over your life. My friends and family are absolutely sick of it.
Are they? Do you sort of see a time where there's life after Traitors for you?
I don't know. I don't think so, because because I'm a wedding photographer, every wedding I go to, basically every wedding, someone comes up to me and says something, wants a photo, and it's brilliant, it's great. I take it for granted now. It's just like my life, which is so strange. It's really strange. It's
interesting, isn't it, Alyssa? Because then it's almost like the next group that go in, the next cohort or the year of people, and that becomes their reality. And I guess that's what happens with these types of shows. Do you anticipate this year that we might see anything different from this new series?
I expect there to be a bit more betrayal. I feel like it's going to get harsher every year. I'm so excited to see what they do with it, because I feel like we're going to see the same game over and over again, that I wonder they'll have to mix up the gameplay, the production. So I'm super excited to see how they go about it this year.
I like how Alyssa wants more betrayal.
Typical traitor, there she is.
It's easier being on this side for sure.
Do you know, that's a funny one actually, Alyssa, because do you have the sense now that when people meet you, that becomes your persona as being a traitor?
Yeah, lads, I was on Hinge, like the dating app, and I had like people swiping up being like, "Oh, you're definitely a cheater." So, like, what? Like, people actually think that I lie every day. I was like, lads, it is a game, do you know?
That must be quite tough, though.
Yeah, it actually is. And my family were just shocked when they saw how well I could lie. Like, it's a curse and a blessing.
Well, I mean, it's, as you say, it is a game. That's the whole point of you being there.
That's it.
But, you know, I guess trying to shake off that persona, which again, Meryl is part of these types of shows. For you, does it feel as though there's life after Traitors?
Yeah, no, 100%, 1,000. I mean, right now this is life after Traitors. We're still talking about the Traitors, so I think it's all positive. I love it. It definitely is. I think it's really amazing to see how many people get so involved in the show. You know, I love it when people show me videos that they've played with their families, and especially around Christmas time.
Yeah.
I got so many videos of people be like, "Oh my god, me and my family did that, and we didn't actually speak for like 2 days because I thought so and so was a traitor and she wasn't a traitor." And I was like, "Oh my god, people are really getting into this." So yeah, no, it's amazing to see how many people love it and enjoy the experience as much as we did. So yeah, it's really cool.
What's Claudia like, all of you?
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's
so
lovely.
cool.
What's so good about her?
She's so down to earth. The hair, down to earth.
The fringe.
The fringe, so shiny. How did she get it so shiny?
Head and shoulders.
Oh, well, yeah, other brands available, but yeah, that's what they legitimately believe. Well, right, so tomorrow night then, obviously, we know that it's going to air for the first time 8 o'clock on BBC One.
Yes.
Brian, how are you watching it?
I am watching it at home, and I'm buzzing to watch it. I was saying earlier to you before we went on air that I think I've got a gut feeling I might know somebody, or there's going to be a connection. I don't know. I honestly don't know anything. I don't know. I can't wait. Yeah. I do that every time if I'm watching The Chase or something. Like, oh, I wonder if I know somebody. Yeah.
Do you know, that's actually never come into my mind before, but this is the thing where, like, once you've been part of something, that becomes reality, whereas sometimes when you're watching it just on TV, it's just something that feels like not really that real. Alyssa, how are you watching tonight?
Lads, I'll be in Galway having drinks with my friends, so I'll be missing it, unfortunately, for the first episode, but we'll definitely be tuning in as soon as I'm back.
Yeah, for sure. Meryl, what about you?
I'll be watching with my mum and my gran. I've told them not to make plans tomorrow night. We're sitting in front of the TV and watching it. I want to take notes. I want to actually study it this time. I'm going to figure out how to play the game. A bit late, but I'm going to try and work out.
Just a wee bit too late.
The winner figuring out how to play the game.
Play the game.
What makes a winner, Meryl? You might not be able to answer that given what you've just said, but what do you think that going into this new series, that if people are maybe, I don't know if they're able to listen right now, or they're just sort of still in that zone of it being already recorded or whatever, but what in your mind takes what's the attributes it takes to win a show like that?
Oh God. I mean, I was clueless. I mean, saying having fun. Everyone had fun. And just go and be yourself. Just go and enjoy it. I mean, I think that is an amazing experience. So just live in the moment. I don't know. Don't take it too seriously. It's a game. Yeah, just enjoy yourself. That's what I would say. Not very good, but it worked out well.
Listen, well, exactly. Wise words. Listen, thank you so much, the three of you, for coming on. It's been great to chat to you. Enjoy it all.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Bye, guys.
As well.
Bye.
Bye.
Alyssa Chan, who's a student, former traitor, Brian Davidson, their photographer, and a former Faithful, and Mera Williams, podcaster, and the winner of the Traitors Series 1 as a Faithful. Remember, you can watch all the action, the first episode of The Traitors, a little later on the 1st of January, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on BBC One, and you can catch up on the iPlayer, 27 minutes after 10.
New Year, everyone, it's 2008. You're probably on a diet to try and lose some weight. Salad is so boring, who cares about your hips? Stop off after work today and buy a bag of chips. The Chris Moyle Show.
You're listening to Mornings here on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Connie McLaughlin. Apparently, the Fab Four are enjoying a bit of a resurgence on TikTok. So we're asking, why do the Beatles keep gaining new fans so many years later, especially so many years after splitting up? And if you're playing Name the Place, strike these ones from your list. Bells Hill, the place I was born. Julian Latham, it's no, wrong answer. Burkheads, Martin from Fours, and John and Paisley as well. No, it's not. Clue 2 is this, right? Clue 2. It shares its meaning with the name of a mathematician born on Christmas Day and the 4th of January.
A word with you. I'd like to tell you, yeah, just what I've been going through. My nights are so long as I watch each hour go by, hoping and praying that someday I will be your guy. Hey love, you're my one true soul desire. Hey love, baby, can you feel this burning fire? This one thing I find so true. Hey love, when you are near me, hey love, I go through a change or two. Hey love, hearing your footsteps, I hurry to catch your eye, and I stand there waiting, yeah,
with River McDonald here, the animal behaviourist, clinical animal behaviourist. We're just talking about our dogs because it's very, very exciting because River's just got a new litter of 6 Yorkshire Terrier puppies. Probably my favourite chat to have, River. You'll know this about new dogs or any animals whatsoever, but 6 Yorkshire Terrier puppies. How are they, first of all?
They're doing so well. They're an absolute joy. I'm very sleep deprived, but I'm very, very happy. They just bring so much enjoyment to the household. The dark nights are just spent cuddling puppies and watching them learn, and watching their mum learn about being a mum as well has been really beautiful.
What is that like? I mean, I've never had a puppy before, like in the house, as in like from birth. You always sort of, you see the dogs who are a little bit older if you've had, or you get to know a pup. But in that sort of phase of them being born till now, because they're 6 weeks, did you say?
They're just 4.
Oh, sorry, 4?
4. Yeah, there's 6 of them. Yeah, almost 4 weeks old now.
So what are they doing at 4 weeks?
So just now they're learning to walk, so they're toddling, which is really, really sweet. It's like sometimes they just get a little burst and go zooming off, but they can't really control where they're going or when they stop. They're starting to discover each other. Their eyes opened a few days before Christmas, and then Christmas Day was when their ears opened. So the last week has been spent starting to socialise them to sounds. We've been doing some startle recovery, so something that people maybe aren't aware of is how important it is to expose puppies whilst they're at the breeders. This is why we discourage getting dogs from kennels where they're not being raised in a home, and ideally from people who are putting in a little bit of work and thought into socialisation. Between 3 and 4 weeks, they don't actually have a fear response, which is really cool. So it means we can expose them to sounds and they might startle, but they'll recover quite quickly. Typically what you would do is make a loud noise, like drop a book or something. You'll see them all sort of jerk a little bit as if you've pulled, like as if they're on a little string and you've pulled them. They'll have a little look around, they'll relax, and then if you drop that book a second time, you see no response. And that's part of starting to train their nervous system to be triggered, because they will get triggered in life, but they can then recover from it. And it's about building that resilience from a really early age.
It's funny, isn't it? Because it's just like any young of any sort of mammal. That happens with babies, the startle response, and you'd see that with wee babies and stuff, and you're beginning to socialise them. It's so funny that, and also like the wee toddler phase, everything is just almost like fast forwards with dogs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so cute. They're just sitting there and then suddenly off they go, and then they stop again, and there's lots of bumped snouts and little disagreements if somebody's doing one thing and one of the other puppies comes running up and jumps on them or runs into them. They're starting to mouth and chew a lot. The teeth are starting to come in as well, which is a bit uncomfortable for mum. So mum's now starting to naturally wean them as well. She's letting them have a little feed and then saying, no, that's enough, guys. I'm out of here.
I've had enough now. Thanks very much for that. So they've got new homes, but between now and them going off to their new homes, what sort of other things will you be working on with them?
So the next few weeks it's going to get even more chaotic. The next few weeks we're going to continue working on that startle, that stress response and recovery. We're going to look at some frustration stuff with them. So the protocols that I use with this litter are actually to do with an American system called puppy culture. And what we're going to set up in the next couple of weeks is opportunities for them to get annoyed and then to problem solve. It's really hard with little puppies not to help them. You see them get stuck in a corner and they cry and you think, oh God, I need to help you. But actually letting them figure stuff out themselves is really healthy. So one of the barrier tests that we'll do with them is actually putting a physical barrier between them and their food as they're weaning, to create that little bit of frustration and let them problem solve it. And again, this is building skills in those puppies that will help them when they get to their new home, so they actually learn to deal with life themselves a little bit.
And I know that you're doing some training with a couple of them as well to be able to spot diabetes.
Yeah, so another little experiment, and this is my colleague Christina Wells, who trains medical alert dogs. I can't claim to have very much expertise in this area, but again, this is a protocol from the States where what we've done with this litter is we've scent imprinted them. So this has been really interesting. It involves from the 3rd day, so day 3, eyes and ears are still closed. Their world is all about smell and all about milk. So we've associated scent samples that are taken from somebody with a hypo, so that blood sugar dropping. There's a scent that dogs can be taught to pick up there, and we've associated that with feeding from mum. So it's producing this really strong response. And as we've started weaning them, the scent samples now go in the middle of the bowl. And what was really interesting is a couple of them did show a really strong response to that. So they immediately started crying and looking for food when they smell that. And that's just the very early stages of making that association. The reason it's so strong and the thinking behind it is because their eyes and ears haven't opened yet. There's no background noise. They're not associating it with something they're seeing you do or hearing you say. They're just associating that odour with food.
It's remarkable, isn't it? Because I remember doing an interview with someone before about dogs that could smell Parkinson's and other dogs that could smell like cancer and stuff. And it's obviously some sort of either hormonal or some scent change within the body that the dog is then picking up. That is unbelievable. Are we going to see more of that, do you reckon, in terms of diagnostic?
Yeah, I mean, they've just done a study whereby dogs have been shown to be really reliable in sniffing out cancer in urine samples from other dogs. Wow. I spoke to a team in New Zealand a few years ago who taught dogs, just pet dogs, to sniff out invasive fish species in water samples. And they were doing this at a rate of accuracy that was greater than any of the machines. And the machines are really, really expensive. And yet the dogs were just pet dogs that belonged to local people that were able to pick up, yes, there'd been an invasive species of fish in that water sample. Therefore, that lake now needed to be looked at to see whether those invasive fish needed to be removed. It's incredible.
And I don't know about, every dog's different, obviously. But if it was my dog, Luna, she would love that. Like, because it's almost like a game.
Yeah, that's it. It's often food. It's often associated with food, like we've done with this litter.
Yeah.
But for so many dogs, it's play as well. A lot of your high drive dogs that love to tug, love to chase a ball, you can associate finding that odour or the source of that odour with something really fun, something really reinforcing and rewarding for them.
Right. River's going to be back with us after 11 o'clock this morning. I could talk to you all day about these fun things. But if you've got a question about your pets, whether it be cat, dog, guinea pig, snakes, anything?
Just dogs.
Just dogs.
Just dogs, I'm afraid, yeah.
I'm reading this, I'm thinking, that seems like quite a broad range of knowledge, right? Okay, your dogs.
Dogs, please, yes.
Dogs only. You can get your questions in right now for River, 08085 92 95
I could try.
I'm thinking, that would be great if you could do that. 80295, get your questions in for River right now. She's going to be back with us for the full surgery after 11 o'clock. Right, let's get some more music now. This is Franz Ferdinand and Take Me Out.
I'm just a shot, then we can die.
Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand. It is 10:44 here in BBC Radio Scotland. It was maybe 1964 when Beatlemania was at its height. The year they broke America, but unlike some bands who might come and go, 82-year-old Sir Paul McCartney has just completed his latest tour to arenas in France, Brazil and Spain, as well as the O2 in London. But the band's fans have attracted attention from a younger generation, with videos and people dressing up as band members and playing their music going viral on TikTok and other social media platforms. But what is it about the Beatles that continue to attract new fans more than 60 years on? Ken McNabb is a Beatles expert and author. Ken, how are you doing?
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, no, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for coming on. We've also got Luke J. Barrett, who's a musician and Beatles TikToker. How you doing, Luke?
Hello, good, thanks.
How does one become a Beatles TikToker, Luke?
Well, I accidentally kind of started doing this when it was the 60th anniversary of the Ed Sullivan Show, and I just decided to put a bass cover out, and everyone seemed to love it, so I just did more and more, and then I've kind of just... This is my identity now, just doing all these bass covers and guitar covers and, you know, wearing all the outfits and playing all the guitars.
Right, at the age of 22, which you are now, before
Yes.
you started doing that, how much sort of Beatles music had you listened to before that point?
Well, I've been listening to them since I started high school because in an assembly they played a Beatles song and I went home and listened to it, and then from there I just became a massive fan of them and loved all the 60s bands like the Hollies and the Searchers and all those British invasion bands. I got obsessed with it all.
What is it, do you think, specifically about the Beatles that there's something about that music that attracts you so much?
I just think they're great songwriters, great players, and just something about the image, and it's just like a great sound. And then, you know, everyone else has tried to copy that sound, and, you know, it's just a great image.
Ken, the Beatles, for you, obviously, as an expert, as an author, I'm assuming if you're that sort of drawn to what they do, you're a fan as well.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to love the music, really, to begin with. You know, I think, you know, you grew up with that kind of music. There's a kind of, it's almost like a magical alchemy. And to try and distill it down in a few words is really difficult. You know, I think it all begins and ends with the quality of the music. You know, this is a band that left behind a body of work that really has become an encyclopedia of music. I mean, you've got pop in there, you've got rock, you've got rockabilly, psychedelia, folk rock, avant-garde tracks, rhythm and blues, even a modicum of Motown, a bit of reggae. So they've provided this template, in a sense, for Western music. And I can understand why nowadays, certainly in light of far-flung places like Asia, Korea, that all these young people are suddenly discovering this Aladdin's cave of music, in a sense, and have just really taken to it with incredible enthusiasm.
I'm assuming that for an awful long time, in 60 odd years probably, academics have been trying to get to the bottom of, you know, that alchemy as you described. What specifically is it about that music, the writing, whatever it is, the magic that happens when the four of them are together that seems to stand the test of time? Can you put your finger on it, Ken, as to what you think and, you know, whatever that thing is that seems to have worked for them?
I think there was definitely a magic between the four of them. I mean, they really were a band of brothers, and I genuinely believe that they genuinely loved each other. And that connection between the four of them was really important. You obviously had John Lennon and Paul McCartney as the principal songwriters, and writing these songs, which, I mean, the fact that we're even discussing a band that broke up 64 years ago speaks volumes, and it speaks volumes in itself. But I think the music, somehow or other, there's almost a psychic connection with them. And the songs stand up really well. You know, I mean, if you listen to any of the tracks on Abbey Road, you know, they could have been recorded yesterday, and I think it's important maybe to acknowledge that the songs were really well recorded, whether it be in mono or stereo, and the songs just stand the test of time. I mean, even nowadays, I mean, I had a quick look last night to see how well they did in streaming platforms, and you know, the numbers are incredible. Really, Here Comes the Sun has got 1.6 billion streams. Let It Be, Hey Jude, Come Together are over 1 billion streams, and these are numbers which I'm quite sure the Ed Sheerans and the Taylor Swifts of this world would would be quite happy with if they were fledgling newcomers.
Luke, for you, do you have a favourite track, a favourite era of Beatles music for you?
I love the early days and everything. I think my favourite now is From Me to You, because I've been playing that live a lot recently, and it's grown on me. It never was one of my top favourites, but now it's like my biggest favourite.
What is it about replicating that music and doing it through, like, you know, through yourself and through you that makes, I don't know, that makes people want to watch it? What does it feel like when you're doing that and you're playing those songs?
It's kind of strange because obviously I'm just copying other people, but people seem to love the outfits I wear and everything, and it's just the image, because it's like I'm the age they were when they started.
Which is mad, isn't it, when you think about how young you were?
It's like people, I guess, who are my age are just watching someone relive something that they couldn't live in back in the 60s, so they're living it now in like a second wave or something.
Ken, I don't suppose then it majorly surprises you listening to what Luke's saying there about the sort of development of Beatles mania and the fact that so many younger people are beginning to sort of, you know, realise the quality of the music, but also it's developing and changing and morphing into something else again. So we see it now on TikTok and on other social platforms that the music is being utilised, but utilised in a modern day sort of method. It's mad.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great actually, because it's like throwing a stone into a pond, and it creates all these great ripples, and each ripple just attracts a new audience. So I'm all for it, and I think they were the personification of an era in which optimism and hype and social mobility were possible. They were in this great vanguard of cultural change. And I think that shines through, that's reflected in the music. And somebody once said to me, why do you like the band so much? And eventually I realised that they make me happy. The songs make me happy. I don't think they've aged at all. And I think maybe one of the other interesting things is that they stepped off the page in 1969-70 at the top of their game, so there was never this great deterioration of sort of diminishing returns in a sense, and they've never become their own vainglorious tribute band. What you're left with is what they left us, which, as I say, is this magnificent body of work, which a magnificent legacy, which I don't think will ever be dimmed by the passage of time.
Do you have a favourite era of the Beatles, Ken? Is there a specific time that you look back?
It's funny actually. I'm a bit like Luke. My favourite song is "Strawberry Fields Forever," which I think is just a quantum leap from 2.5 years earlier from the pop of "She Loves You." So I sort of I vacillate between one era and another. I do like the latter stuff. But then all of a sudden I'll have this deep dive into the very first album. I mean, when you hear a song like "I Saw Her Standing There," that to me is when the 60s starts. It's like a Learjet on a runway, and that intro just blasts down the runway. But then you hear a song like "Come Together," which is 6 years further down the line, and you just think, what a great song, what a great band. So, I think they've become part of our cultural fabric, really, and it is crazy, but I can't see it changing. And I always say to people that they may not be your favourite band, but you might find that they are your favourite band's favourite band, and they've become this kind of fountainhead for musical history.
Well, I think it would be rude to be talking about the Beatles and not have a quick whiz at one of their tracks. Luke J. Barrett, musician and Beatles TikToker, and Ken McNabb, Beatles expert and author. Thank you so much for your time. Let's get a bit of the Beatles, shall we? Here's Hard.
There is something, baby, about you that's really attracting me. Yeah. And your sweet love, darling, really got a hold on me. I've got a little taste of your love, and now I'm hooked on you. Yeah. And I keep falling, but what can I do? I'm too weak to fight. Listen to can't sleep. Oh no, I've tried to turn you loose now, but your hook is in too deep. Oh yeah, my resistance is getting a little low, and I've got to find a cure. 'Cause I keep falling, falling, falling for you, yeah. I'm too weak to fight. Listen to me, baby. Too weak to fight, yeah. Too weak to fight. You're messing with my head. You got me too weak to fight. Too weak to fight now, baby. I'm calling wrong numbers. Too weak to fight now, baby. You got my head going round and round. Oh yeah. Too weak to fight now, baby, 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 baby.
You're listening to Mornings with me, Connie McLaughlin. For the next hour, we've got lots to talk about, including what is happening with your pets, your dog in particular. We want to get inside your dog's head. Any worries or concerns with anything they're doing, you can get your questions in right now to our animal behaviourist, River McDonald, who's going to be with me just after the news at 11 o'clock. 80295 if you want to ask River a question, or you can give her a call, 08085 92 95 00. Any questions about your dog's behaviour, she is the one to ask. And also, if you're playing Name the Place...